Tonight, firework frustration.
What ends up happening is we get this mob effect and kids come down and chaos breaks out.
The message from police ahead of Canada Day.
We will be having a very large increased presence in Victoria Park, and we will be enforcing the laws heavily.
And the fines you could face for breaking the rules. Also, a renewed push for answers.
I think anyone that was part of that investigation would still be considered a person of interest.
In the death of a transport truck driver.
We don't stop investigating these things, and we won't stop until we solve them.
Why the murder of Michael James Lovejoy still haunts investigators 3 decades later. And buzzing over a new honeybee research facility.
It's an extension of our 130 years of doing work on apiculture science and supporting honeybee health and pollinator health.
How the University of Guelph is creating space to protect our pollinators.
Good evening. Waterloo Regional Police hope to put a halt to a holiday trend that's been lighting up at Kitchener Park. They've issued a warning to the community that personal fireworks are not allowed at Victoria Park. With Canada Day just days away, police are hoping to get the message out early to avoid dangerous displays from happening. CTV's Heather Centerin joins us live with more on this. Heather, police say setting off personal fireworks poses serious safety risks.
It can hurt people and damage property, Leanne. It's becoming a troubling trend that police are hoping comes to an end.
A firework frenzy has been taking over the streets of downtown Kitchener on recent holidays. This was just last month on Victoria Day near Victoria Park, a similar scene annually on that day.
What ends up happening is we get this mob effect and kids come down and chaos breaks out.
The ward's counselor says it's not only mayhem on the streets, it's a safety risk.
Look at this.
The fact that people are throwing explosives at each other, which somebody could really get hurt.
With Canada Day approaching, police are reminding the public
They are not allowed at all to be releasing or using any type of fireworks within the park.
police will be watching to make sure people are following the rules.
We will be having a very large increased presence in Victoria Park, and we will be enforcing the laws heavily. So we're just asking people go there, be respectful, be responsible, be safe.
Personal fireworks aren't allowed anywhere in the region at city parks. When 2026 started, so did a ban on the sale of fireworks in Kitchener and Waterloo. If you break the rules and set them off anyway,
you may run a bylaw fine. You may also be arrested for a criminal act as well. It all depends on what you're doing and what risk you're putting to the public as well.
Chapman says she's heard it's often teens rushing to the park, so her message is to parents.
If your kids tell you there are fireworks in Victoria Park, there are not.
Fireworks are allowed on private property on Canada Day from 9 to 11 at night, but not at any city park without a permit.
So please stay away or come and enjoy the park, but not with your fireworks in hand.
If you do want to ring in the holiday next week in a safe and sanctioned way, the City of Kitchener is hosting a Canada Day celebration starting from noon to 11 p.m. There will be live entertainment and a pyrotechnic lights show to end the night. Leanne.
Okay, Heather, good reminder ahead of Canada Day next week. CTV's Heather Centerin. And we were expecting to see rain today. I think a lot of people will be hoping the weather will be good next week for Canada Day. Let's head over to CTV's Karis Mapp, live in studio with us tonight on the weather beat. Karis, great to have you in studio.
Great to be here. And it's funny, Leanne, every time we see a lot of rain, I always think about you and how you like to go for your run. And I always think, man, I hope she got to that early enough that it wasn't.
Hey, you know what? I got caught in the rain this morning on a walk, and I was just a little bit too far to seek shelter. So, yeah, I got soaked.
Oh, man. Well, as Leanne and maybe many others got a little bit wet today, just starting, Environment Canada issued this yellow warning earlier today. It is for severe thunderstorms, wind gusts up to 90 kilometers per hour, up to toonie-sized hail, so you don't want to get caught out in that. And there was a risk of a tornado, so depending on where you are, you could see a little bit more rain, and other places you might not see any at all. That's for most of southwestern Ontario. Looking at our satellite radar right now, as you can see, some cloud coverage, some rain depending on where you are. You will be seeing some rain, otherwise you'll be wondering what I'm I'm talking about. And looking at temperatures currently sitting at 19 degrees, still pretty warm considering all that rain. Wind has died down a little bit already since the 5 o'clock show, down to 15 kilometers per hour. And looking at our temperatures, like I just said, 19 in Waterloo region. South of us, London, 20, Ridgetown, 23, all the way up to 27 in Windsor. A little bit cooler north of us at Wyerton and Barrie at 18, but nothing to complain about. Get out now while you have a little break in those showers if you can.
Okay, Karis, thanks very much. A drug watch has been issued for St. Thomas, Woodstock, and Oxford and Elgin counties tonight. The advisory from Southwestern Public Health comes amid a sudden rise in overdoses and deaths. Here's CTV's Sean Irvine.
St. Thomas is just one community named in a drug watch by Southwestern Public Health. Here, overdoses are on the rise as testing shows some drugs are being mixed into potentially deadly concoctions. The result is tragic.
We lost 2 young women.
Amanda Zielinski leads The Nameless, a St. Thomas organization that offers both harm reduction and peer support. She says it was her team that alerted health officials after tests came back showing potentially deadly additives in some samples of cocaine and crystal methamphetamine. Now, the concern here is the mixture of drugs. When various substances are combined together, it can lead to more overdoses and deaths.
After we tested, I believe it was a total of 11 samples. We did 9 crystal meths and 2 cocaine samples. All of them tested positive for xylazine, they tested positive for fentanyl, and they tested positive for benzodiazepines.
While the Southwestern Public Health Unit has not confirmed specific cases, they are tracking a rise in overdoses and deaths. Their broad advisory covers not only street-level users, but also occasional users of cocaine.
And they're not used to taking an opioid such as fentanyl. There's a very high increased risk of overdose and worsened sedation, which again increases overdose risk.
As public concern is heightened, so is the call for more education. Users are instructed to never do drugs alone. Counselors not only have naloxone in hand, but also kits to identify contents. Just 3 years ago, Ray Waters was deep in addiction. Now in recovery, he is a peer support worker concerned about the alarming discovery in the street supply.
I was never into fentanyl or anything like that, but still, the same thing could have happened to me.
Which is why the rush to spread the word is on.
I'm just concerned we're going to lose more young people. So much life ahead of people that's not there no more, you know?
In St. Thomas, Sean Irvine, CTV News.
A motorcyclist injured in a Brantford crash has died. Brantford police say his bike and a car collided on King George Road near Vardy Avenue just before 2 a.m. yesterday. The impact.
The following is a message from the Canadian National Public Alerting System.
At 6:06 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time Thursday, Environment Canada has updated a tornado warning for southwestern Ontario. Extra care and attention should be exercised. The following localities are included in the warning: London, Middlesex and Elgin. Environment Canada meteorologists are tracking a severe thunderstorm that is possibly producing a tornado. Damaging winds, large hail and locally intense rainfall are also possible. Take cover immediately if threatening weather approaches. Please consult local media for more information.
And on leave after something traumatic on the job.
So I experienced the fatalities, the child abuse, sexual assaults.
Among them, Jared Hunter, a retired OPP detective. He was on WSIB leave for the last years of his career.
I was in a dark place. But what brought me out of it was my wife and a good support system.
While he was off, the OPP topped up his benefits to about $120,000, and Hunter used to get a tax refund of about $25,000. But about 4 years ago, his refund almost dried up. On his tax forms, the OPP declared his taxable income to be about $79,000, but deducted just $9 in tax.
It doesn't make sense.
Accountant Sheldon Rakowski said he's appealed the change in some 30 cases, alleging the officers' pay hasn't been calculated correctly.
They feel that these people are off because of this big refund that they're getting. They feel they need to get rid of that refund and force these people either back to work or off the job.
The number of officers on leave has been a problem for the OPP. While current numbers aren't available, in 2020 it more than quadrupled to 353, according to Ontario's Auditor General. After an arbitration, the force introduced changes to the calculations called net average earnings, so that the pay to officers off work is not higher than it would be if they were working. The OPP said in a statement these changes were not made to negate income tax refunds, encourage members to return to work, or impact members in any way, as purported. We understand the CRA is in the process of reviewing or has reviewed the calculations. To date, there has been no direction to amend or eliminate either the calculation or reported salary. In June, the CRA sided with the OPP's calculations in one of Rakowski's cases. The officers say the changes have affected their pensions too and their properties.
We weren't able to get a fixed mortgage this time around because of the inconsistencies with the employment letter.
Rakowski promising to keep pushing, believing upwards of $10 million a year is at stake. John Woodward, CTV News.
There are concerns tonight about drug shortages that are leaving patients and pharmacists scrambling. Now, one pharmacist is calling for action from both the provincial and federal governments to help fix the issue. Here's CTV's Siobhan Morris.
2 drops in the morning.
Kirsten Campbell was thrown for a loop last week when she tried to refill a prescription for eye drops.
No, can't be to anger, and then I was in a bit of a panic.
She's been using Combigan for years to treat glaucoma. She'd never had an issue before.
Is this going to be not my fault? I'm going to end up having to have surgery? You know, or worse, like the pressure builds up and something worse could happen.
She did eventually get set up with an alternative, but her eye drops, one of the drugs a bunch of pharmacists have struggled to get their hands on. Same with hydromorphone, commonly prescribed after surgery.
A heartburn medication called Tecta, or it's generic, pantoprazole magnesium, that's been on back order for over a month.
The reason for the holdup is different drug to drug. Issues at the manufacturing level, a spike in demand. Massey says that causes a lot of frustration on both sides of the pharmacy counter.
We end up having to try to find alternatives that we recommend to physicians, and then physicians end up wasting a lot of time reading through multiple communications.
It's adding unnecessary time to a very simple process.
Dr. Alan Grill explains back orders also create scheduling complications for patients and may slow down getting the support they need.
You really should be speaking to the patient to let them know what's happening. So in some cases, your community pharmacist will do that. But in other cases, the patient will then potentially book a second appointment to find out why you changed your mind on the medication.
It helps when pharmacists recommend an alternative they do have in stock. Massey wants to eliminate that step.
Pharmacists should be allowed to switch medications when on back order to a drug in the same class that's equally efficacious with a similar side effect profile.
He's pleading for better communication from Health Canada about shortages and what's being done to mitigate them.
We just wake up in the morning and we find that a drug is not available. And I think that that's not acceptable.
And that was CTV's Siobhan Morris. In world news, rescue crews in Venezuela are seeing the devastation after 2 powerful earthquakes struck just seconds apart. Millions are affected, and there are fears the death toll could be in the thousands. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
A woman waves a piece of clothing from this building in La Guaira, Venezuela, one of many people trapped inside their homes, following 2 of the most devastating earthquakes to hit Venezuela in more than a century. Both quakes struck near the country's northern coast. The first, a magnitude 7.2, hit around 6:04 p.m. The second, a magnitude 7.5, came just 40 seconds later.
And then I felt the ground shaking a little bit, and then just mass panic.
Rescue crews and civilians spent the night combing through the rubble of toppled buildings trying to find survivors. The 2 major earthquakes battering the country's already fragile infrastructure. More than 100 people are confirmed dead, with thousands of people still missing.
It's heartbreaking.
John Rosenberg is from Caracas and now lives in Toronto. He's worried about all the people still missing and about the devastating long-term impact these quakes will have on the country.
We feel like there was finally a recovery starting to happen, and to see the devastation and to see how much the infrastructure has suffered.
Today, Venezuela's President Delcy Rodriguez called for unity in the face of this disaster, which will likely further test her presidency. Rodriguez was installed after the United States ousted former President Nicolas Maduro in January. While Venezuela is an oil-rich country, decades of corruption and record-high inflation mean many services have been hollowed out, complicating rescue efforts. Today, Canada was among the many nations promising help.
We're working with our partners directly, and we will scale things as appropriate to move forward.
The Prime Minister says one of the challenges the government is facing when it comes to helping Canadians on the ground in Venezuela is that Canada does not have an embassy there. While there are no imminent plans to reopen one, Mark Carney says this disaster is a reminder of the importance of having a presence in foreign countries, even adversarial ones. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto. Low water levels. Stella ahead on CTV News. Why the Navy Association says the city of Woodstock is at fault for pond frustrations. CTV's Jeff Pickle brings us that story next.
Well, we know we're not done with the rain quite yet, but some intense heat is also in the forecast for the coming days. I'll let you know just how hot it's set to get coming up later in the show.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
The Navy Club in Woodstock says the water in their pond is low and that it's the city's fault. The Oxford County Navy Association says construction across the street is to blame for the water loss. And now they say they are tired of the city dragging its heels on a fix. CTV's Jeff Pickle has the story.
All this rock area is usually underwater.
It's a well-loved and well-used natural spring pond.
There's lots of community events. We bring in the Parkwood veterans. They come here a couple of times in the summer. We have fishing derbies, all kinds of different functions for charity.
Sitting just beside the Oxford County Naval Association clubhouse, the pond is a hub of activity.
And the pond's just another way that we have the opportunity to reach out in the community.
The club says around 2 years ago, construction on a city-owned property caused the water level to drop significantly, meaning no more fishing and no more activities.
This is the overflow drain for the pond where the level should be at, and the water should be flowing through the top of that.
The club says it's been 2 years and they are still waiting on the city to act.
We met with the city and we tried to get some solutions to fix the problem, and we feel that after 2 years we are no farther ahead and we haven't heard where we are in the process of getting a solution to fix the problem.
The city confirms the cause of the issue and says they passed a motion to have a consultant look at the problem.
So they're going to come back with a bunch of options and the costing with those options. If it was easy, this would have been fixed quicker, there's no question.
The mayor says, like the Navy Club, they are also playing the waiting game.
We were in communication, we have been in constant communication with the Navy Club. Of course, we're all, let's say, unhappy at the speed of the reports that we've requested at this point.
With another summer with no fishing, the club says it's time to get moving.
I'd sleep better at night, and I'm sure the 900 members would be ecstatic to know that they have a pond that they can use.
The city anticipates the report will be ready the next few weeks, and from there we'll have to decide how to move forward. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Woodstock.
The University of Guelph is buzzing over their new Honeybee Research Center. The state-of-the-art facility marks the next chapter in the school's century-long commitment to bee exploration. CTV's Spencer Turcotte takes us inside.
Honeybee research at the University of Guelph has a new home.
It's an extension of our 130 years of doing work on apiculture science and supporting honeybee health and pollinator health.
The newly opened facility replaces the cramped bungalow that housed the program for decades.
Our lab was a bedroom. Our living room was our classroom.
Now researchers, students, and beekeepers have room to grow.
It's a 15,000 square foot research facility that was designed with intention in mind.
Researchers helped design everything from the flow of bees and equipment through the building to specialized extraction, storage, and teaching spaces.
Our research lab has very specialized functions. We have an incubation room where we can create the ambient conditions inside a beehive.
The smart minds here can now study bee behavior and disease in controlled environments while looking at ways to strengthen hive health. And that work has implications far beyond honey production.
In Canada, honeybees contribute $7 billion to the economy annually. A third of the food we eat benefits from bee pollination. 80% of that pollination is done by honeybee colonies.
The expanded facility is also expected to increase the number of managed colonies on site, allowing for larger scale research projects.
We managed about 320 colonies. Our goal would be able to expand that to 700 colonies.
For anyone curious about the world of honeybees, the public can take a closer look during open houses this week. And as threats to bee populations rise, the hope is this new hive of innovation will be at the forefront of protecting our pollinators. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Guelph.
Canadians are waiting hours, sometimes days, in emergency rooms across the country. But a new report suggests the problem doesn't actually begin in the ER. CTV's Kathy Lee has more on what's really driving the delays.
Long waits in Canada's emergency rooms have become an all too familiar experience, and Brenda Trottier knows that firsthand.
It was frustrating.
She says her daughter went to a Calgary emergency room with abdominal pain last month and did not leave until more than 10 hours later.
Why wasn't her pain addressed? Why did we wait so long?
A new report by the Canadian Institute for Health Information found 1 in 10 patients spent more than 14 hours in the ER in 2024-2025. For those needing to be admitted, 1 in 10 spent more than 2 days in the ER waiting for a bed. This doctor says it's a long-standing issue that keeps getting worse.
We've been calling a state of emergency and state of crisis.
The report suggests the root of the problem often lies far beyond the emergency department. Shortages of hospital beds, long-term care spaces, and community supports are creating a bottleneck through the healthcare system.
Our government has been neglecting on some of the capacity and workforce building.
The consequences of overcrowded emergency departments have at times been tragic. In Alberta, 44-year-old Prashant Srikumar died in an Edmonton ER. And in Ontario, 16-year-old Finlay Vander Werken died in an Oakville ER. Both waited 8 hours to see a doctor. The Alberta government says population growth, rising demand, and increasing patient complexity are contributing to longer waits.
I think the feds have to get involved now and actually start to say, hey, we need to look at this in a national solution.
Trottier is thankful her daughter's condition wasn't more serious and understands medical staff are under strain, but says enough is enough.
It is broken.
And the government needs to make changes. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
Live look outside this hour from Kitchener's Victoria Park. I know the rain just started here near our studios in the Sports World area of Kitchener. You can hear it coming down. We are under a severe thunderstorm watch in Waterloo region, something to keep in mind as we head out into the evening hours. Looks like it is raining from downtown Kitchener this hour too as we approach these 6.
The following is a message from the Canadian National Public Alerting System.
At 6:24 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time Thursday, Environment Canada has issued a marine tornado warning for Lower Great Lakes. Extra care and attention should be exercised in the following marine areas. Lake Erie. Environment Canada meteorologists are tracking a severe thunderstorm that is possibly producing a tornado. Damaging winds, large hail and locally intense rainfall are also possible. Tornadoes are often wrapped in rain and may not be visible. Take cover immediately if threatening weather
All right, Karis is back with a look at our full forecast. There's lots to get to with the weather, Karis. We've got some watches, some warnings, and we can tell because the rain just came down pretty hard. You could hear it here on our roof.
You heard me talking earlier that, you might not see some rain right now, but then it happened so quickly. You were like, is that rain? And the warning and watches that you mentioned all happening in real time. So you guys are going to see as we go what's kind of happening and what's the latest from Environment Canada. Starting, we're going to look outside first, and we're going to see that rain that we were just talking about. This is Victoria Park. Thank goodness for our cameraman, Rowan, who is being a trooper outside in that rain right now. That's the Grand River there, and you can see it just coming down. We will get into the warning in a second, but from that shot right there, you can see how big the hail pieces are. Not pieces, but the hail coming down on it. Right on the river, you can see it making that impact right on the surface level of that water. So it's pretty intense right now. You're going to want to be inside if you can. Hopefully you are already inside. Getting into our warnings a little bit now, Environment Canada, we talked about it earlier, issuing a yellow warning. That is a severe thunderstorm warning, the map right here. As you can see, most of southwestern Ontario being impacted, wind gusts up to 90 kilometers per hour, that Toonie-sized hail that we just saw outside from our weather shot, risk of a tornado. So the map actually hasn't updated yet, but for western Middlesex County and western Elgin County, they are in a red warning rather, and that's a tornado warning. So Environment Canada, as I mentioned earlier, tracking it pretty much by the minute, seeing where the path could touch down. Just make sure that you have your alerts on. I'm doing my best to keep you updated, but we'll see as it goes. And this is going to remain for pretty much all of the evening. So like I said, I'll do my best to keep you up to date on what's happening. Focusing on the future cast right now, weather, we saw outside there is a lot of hail, a lot of rain coming down. That's going to be the case for the evening. By this time tomorrow, though, it's going to have cleared out a little bit, mostly cloud coverage, and then that cloud coverage is going to continue moving through until Saturday this time. So really the bulk of the rain is happening right now and into the evening. Like I said, take shelter if possible. Environment Canada also warning that if a tornado does touch down, you're going to want to seek shelter. If the weather does get a little more threatening, you're going to want to find a basement or an interior room. Looking at the forecast, though, amounts, not too much. As of right now until Saturday this time, we're only going to get about 6 millimeters, highest up in Barrie at 7 millimeters. So it's going to be intense and then it's going to stop. So this is the time that you want to be inside, like I said. Temperature is 21 degrees in Waterloo region. That just happened. The expected high was 20, so we've now surpassed that. Cooler in Barrie, 18 degrees. Down in Windsor, 27. So a mix of temperatures all across the province. Overnight low, 14 degrees. As we saw, we can expect that thunderstorm. There is a chance for some more showers as we're seeing. Tomorrow, high of 23, feeling more like 27, and there is a high UV index. High, like I said, expected 20. We're up to 21, still a little bit cooler than what we'd see over in the normal time of year. Overnight low 14, right on par with what is normal for this time of year. Looking at our 7-day forecast, like I said, the rain is getting out of the way now. Sunshine's coming, so is warmer temperatures for Canada today, a high of 32 degrees. Lambton, Kent, Essex, very similar to what we'll see in Waterloo region. Canada today, 35. It's going to be a hot one, and it's going to be a chance for some showers, but that also means some more humidity. Who knows? And then out in southern Georgian Bay, some cooler temperatures, still up at 31 degrees though, so it's not that much cooler. And the overnight lows also getting a little bit warmer, up to 21, ending the week by 26 degrees and 18. Now let's take a look at our weather watcher photo. This was taken yesterday evening in Smith Creek on the edge of Milverton. Oh my goodness. Thank you to Denise Smith who wrote this in. She said, who needs goats? They've got horses. What a beautiful shot there. The horses just enjoying the scenic cloud coverage, getting some water, enjoying their scenic space all around.
Yeah, hey, they're enjoying these temperatures and the conditions too.
Absolutely.
Karis, thanks so much. Next up, a cold case unsolved for more than 30 years. A trucker found shot to death in his tractor trailer parked on the side of the 403. Over 3 decades and hundreds of tips later, Brantford police are still looking for answers. Tonight on Unsolved 519, the murder of Michael James Lovejoy and the investigation that continues to this day. Let's join CTV's Hannah Schmidt with more on this. Hannah, after 32 years, police are still actively investigating.
That's right, Leanne. April 8th, 1994. That's when Lovejoy's transport was seen parked on the shoulder of the 403. The next day, a colleague passing by stopped to check on him. Lovejoy was found dead, and police launched what would become a decades-long investigation that remains unsolved to this day.
busy highway near Brantford, a truck driver simply doing his job, and a mystery that has haunted investigators for more than 3 decades. On April 8th, 1994, Michael James Lovejoy's journey came to a sudden and violent end. The 35-year-old from Flint, Michigan, who had been working for RTS Transport Inc. for just 5 weeks, left the American Axle and Manufacturing Plant in Buffalo just before 11 a.m. He crossed the border into Canada at the Queenston-Lewiston Bridge at around 12:20 p.m. with a load of automotive axles and was scheduled to arrive in Pontiac, Michigan at 10 p.m. But he never made it. Another RTS driver was headed eastbound later that night and saw Lovejoy's truck parked along the westbound lane of Highway 403 near Brantford.
That specific portion of the highway, it seems unusual that a transport truck would be parked there.
The trucker tried to contact Lovejoy over the CB radio. Lovejoy's handle was Supertramp, but couldn't reach him. The next afternoon around 2:15, that same driver was on his return trip and saw Lovejoy's truck still parked on the side of the highway. He went to check on him and found Lovejoy's body. He had been shot several times.
So April 9th, 1994, members of the Brantford Police Service attended to the 403 on the west side of the 403, approximately 1 mile east of the Park Road North overpass. Information had been received that a transport truck was parked at the side of the road. Police conducted an investigation and unfortunately found Michael James Lovejoy deceased in the rear portion of his transport trailer.
Lovejoy's shoes and socks were on the floor of the vehicle, and the alarm on his wristwatch was set for 5:30 p.m. His wallet remained inside the truck. His cargo was untouched. Police say robbery did not appear to be the motive, but one clue continues to stand out. Several witnesses reported seeing a tractor trailer with similar markings to Lovejoy's parked behind his vehicle and a man walking between the two trucks. That person has never been identified.
I think anyone that was part of that investigation would still be considered a person of interest. So if anyone has information in relation to who that individual was, we'd love to speak to them.
Police received more than 300 tips over the years, and investigators are hopeful advances in forensic technology could help move the case forward.
We do keep all the tips, so the investigators are constantly poring over that information. So because there's been quite a significant gap in time, we have assigned several investigators to that.
When Lovejoy was killed, he left behind a wife and a child. More than 3 decades later, police believe someone may still hold the missing piece to the puzzle.
We would appeal to specifically to this investigation, the Michael James Lovejoy, because it's been such a big time gap. Somebody from Canada or the U.S. may have some information.
They say the search for answers continues.
We have dedicated people, sworn in civilian, that are really passionate about the work that they do. So we don't stop investigating these things, and we won't stop until we solve them.
12 years ago, on the 20th anniversary, Brantford police issued a new appeal for tips, hoping new technology would point them toward Lovejoy's killer. Handwritten notes from 1994 were being digitized and entered into a database to search for connections to other cases. Anyone with any information is asked to contact Brantford Police or Crime Stoppers. Leanne.
Okay, Hannah, thanks so much. CTV's Hannah Schmidt with this week's edition of Unsolved 519. He's calling it a successful spring session. Still ahead on CTV News. The Prime Minister speaks about his conversation with President Trump, from discussions around NATO to Iran. We'll have the details next. Prime Minister Mark Carney was in Ottawa today addressing reporters in a wide-ranging press conference to wrap up this year's parliamentary sitting. He also revealed more details from yesterday's phone call with President Donald Trump. But with just 1 week to go before the deadline to review the Canada-US-Mexico Free Trade Agreement, Carney said the deal wasn't discussed. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
Morning. The Prime Minister ran through his record, touting a successful spring session.
We have the right plan. We're on track, but there's much more to do
Taking questions, Mark Carney peeled back the curtain on what he called a long conversation with President Trump and senior officials, including Secretary of War Pete Hegseth.
On a range of issues, some related to NATO, some related to the situation in Iran and the broader Middle East. Both current and structural issues. Is very constructive conversation. There's things we're working on together.
He wouldn't share details on Iran, but with the deadline for a review of the North American Free Trade Deal next week.
We didn't discuss Kuzma yesterday.
Mr. Carney has a long telephone conversation with the president and doesn't even bring it up. What could be a greater priority to this country?
CTV News asked the Prime Minister about these comments from the U.S. ambassador.
Obviously, we're not anywhere close to announcing any type of a framework or an interim agreement.
What I have seen with the president is that you're not close to make a deal and then you make a deal. So both things can be true.
Carney said Canada is holding out for a reason.
We could sign a bad deal this afternoon, right? We could have signed a bad deal a year ago. We're not going to sign a bad deal. So it has to be a real deal.
The Prime Minister also teased another topic, promising an announcement on the future of 24 Sussex. That's the official residence of the Prime Minister in disrepair that hasn't been lived in a decade. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Okay, let's update our top stories tonight with CTV's Alexandra Hollick live in studio with us. Alexandra, first, police are sending out a warning about fireworks ahead of Canada Day.
That's right, Leanne. The plan is to keep people from launching personal fireworks in public places, including Kitchener's Victoria Park. For the last two Victoria Days and Canada Day last year, a firework frenzy has taken over the park, and police and the city are hoping to put a stop to it. They say enforcement will be amped up, and those who don't follow the rules could face fines. There's a lot of buzz over at the University of Guelph over its new Honeybee Research Centre. The state-of-the-art facility marks a new chapter in the school's century-long commitment to bee exploration. Researchers help design everything from the flow of bees and equipment through the building to specialized extraction, storage, and teaching spaces. Visitors can check it out for themselves at open houses tomorrow and Saturday.
And online tonight, Alexandra, our digital team has details about a dine and dash that ended up with charges.
Proving there are, in fact, consequences to your actions, Leanne. And a Guelph man has been charged with assault and food fraud after police say he left a restaurant without paying for a meal and pushed an employee before taking off. And you can find the full details on this story over on our CTV News app or by visiting our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Leanne?
Okay, Alexandra, thanks so much. CTV's Alexandra Hollick live in studio with our top stories tonight. Thanks again. For many students across the province, the sound of the final bell today marked the end of the school year and the start of summer vacation.
Like low-key, school sucks.
Oh! Students at William G. Davis School in Cambridge had some mixed emotions when it came to the last day of school, but many say they were excited to leave the books and backpacks behind and kick off the summer holiday. The break lasts a little bit longer this year, with classes set to start back up on September 8th. Okay, Stella ahead, a popular historic site in Waterloo Region is reopening. From the familiar exhibits to the new changes, Krista Simpson tells us what to expect at Dune Heritage Village ahead. S.E. Hinton's 1967 novel, The Outsiders, continues to resonate years after its release. It's the basis for a new Tony Award-winning play of the same name. CTV's Andrea Case caught up with some of the cast.
When I stepped out into the bright sunlight from the darkness of the movie house, I had only two things on my mind: Paul Newman and a ride home.
A book published in 1967 is just as meaningful today. Currently on stage now, the four-time Tony Award-winning new musical, The Outsiders. Actors Corbin Drew Ross and Benal Fembrini play Soda Pop Curtis and Johnny Cade. Fembrini first auditioned 8 years ago. Back then, he was too young. This time around, he auditioned 4 times. The 5th time, he said, was horrible.
I went back in, night and day difference. Like I walked out of the audition room knowing like I killed it. Even if I don't get casted, I killed that audition. And then what's funny now, after having booked the job, I've been talking to Danya, the director, and she was like, I have to tell you, after the first time you came in, you had already booked. But now seeing that you were like wanting more and fighting for more, that's what we wanted for Greasers and Outsiders.
The theatrical debut for Texan Ross occurred when he was hired to be in a play along with his older babysitting brother. The play was Into the Woods. He was cast as 9-year-old Jack. It didn't go well.
I don't know what it was, the lights, the audience, the story. Like I cried every single show when it came to like the sad parts. Like, and I still do. I'm very emotional on stage, in all honesty.
But he was hooked after attending 6 different drama high schools. Chasing the dream of being an actor, a teacher told him the honest truth.
You're doing this all for the wrong reasons. She didn't say these, but she basically said, you're entitled, you're selfish. But what she meant was, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this because I want what's best. I don't love the theater.
That honesty changed his life. The Outsiders, a new musical, is choreographed by Toronto's own the Cooperman brothers. And the actors say the Rumble is one of the highlights of the show. Come for the action, stay for the story.
The core messages that we're trying to tell are also human, whether it's fighting for the people you love or trying to find where you belong in the world or your chosen family or whatever it may be. I think that resonates to anyone and everyone.
The Outsiders is on stage now at the Princess of Wales Theatre until July 26th. Andrea Case, CTV News.
Okay, we have more news coming up. First, let's check in with Karis.
Well, the rain is coming down and set to for most of the evening, but what will the conditions be like first thing tomorrow morning? I'll let you know. Wake Up Weather is coming up. Stick around on CTV tonight. Starting at 7 o'clock, we've got E-Talk, followed by The Big Bang Theory at 7:30. And for all of our country music fans, starting at 8 o'clock, CMA Fest.
All right, let's check back in with Alexandra for a look at what our team is following as we head into the evening. Alexandra.
Leanne, Waterloo Regional Council has approved a plan for the future of the Waterloo Region International Airport, setting out a strategy for the next 20 years. The region says the airport will grow to meet the needs of a growing community, respond to emerging industry opportunities, and strengthen its role as an economic driver for Waterloo Region. We'll have more details on the full plan and other local news tonight at 11:30. Leanne.
Okay, Alexandra, thanks for that. Sounds great. And we will take one last check on the forecast with Karis. Karis, you know, we're seeing that rain come down now. What is tomorrow morning looking like?
Well, let's talk a little bit about those watches. I know earlier I talked about some of those tornado watches. Those have since lifted. But looking at tomorrow morning, as we see all that rain coming up, the temperature's rising. We're going to get some fog patches at 6 a.m. By 8 a.m., 16 degrees, sun and cloud. And then that's going to carry by 10 a.m., 18 with some more sun and cloud.
Okay, looks like a good morning to get out and enjoy. Okay, finally for us tonight, a popular historic site in Waterloo Region is reopening following a 3-year closure for repairs and upgrades. Dune Heritage Village will return with many of the familiar exhibits people in the region grew up experiencing.
And there will also be some changes to improving accessibility and explore other stories beyond 1914. CTV's Krista Simpson reports.
It's a step back in time to 1914 Berlin, as Kitchener was then called. Dune Heritage Village is ready to reopen to the public.
It is very, very exciting.
After 3 years of improvements and community consultation, and with the ring of the cowbell, the site returns with a new tagline, One Village, Many Stories, signifying an effort to expand what's featured. The second floor of Martin House now includes an exhibit weaving together the life of Mennonites and the stories of Black families who came to the same area decades later.
It was my family story, going from Jamaica to England to Waterloo Region in the 60s and sort of thriving here as we have.
The exhibit features photos taken by Aaron T. Francis's grandfather and other items.
There's so much in common. The quilts, the clothing, the dresses, and you'll see in the photos.
His exhibit is an opportunity to have a dialogue between different communities and looking at more so the parallels and the similarities that exist among the families that call Waterloo Region home.
Other changes to the village include new signs to help guide visitors through the 60-acre property and improved accessibility features, replacing old ramps at the back of buildings with fresh new ones.
All the ramps now lead to the front door. Everybody enters the building through the same door and has the same experience, which is a little more welcoming for everyone.
There are also new planter boxes, bringing the gardens closer to everyone. And for visitors who may find areas like the noisy blacksmith shop overwhelming, the museum now offers backpacks with items inside that might help.
Having hearing protection and maybe the sunglasses might help people feel a little calmer and more relaxed in the space, and would allow school kids in particular to still enjoy the school program.
Still, amid the changes, the site is staying true to the classic experiences and nostalgia the village holds for so many, immersing visitors into life in the summer of 1914.
It was such a pivotal year in Canadian history, and all the changes of industrialization were coming. The First World War was about to break out. It was a very interesting time in Canada.
The village will formally reopen with a free public event on Canada Day, July 1st. The village will remain open for the season 7 days a week until September 6th. Krista Simpson, CTV News, Kitchener.
Okay, great stuff. And as we just heard from Krista, free admission on Canada Day. There's lots going on throughout the region, of course, for Canada Day next Wednesday. The city of Kitchener also hosting a big party downtown from noon till 11 p.m.
Some pyrotechs to, not fireworks, but some fire explosion-like things. So that's for people to look forward to, and they will really enjoy it because the warm temperatures. As I mentioned in my forecast, we're seeing plus 30 degrees. So if you like the heat and you want to celebrate Canada, that's the time to get outside.
That will be the first time this year we rise above 30 degrees.
I think so. Here it comes.
Looking forward to it. We'll leave it there. We're back tonight at 11:30. Good night.